Televiewers, on this note that we begin today's program on this minute of silence to the departed souls at the Chang Hill incident or accident which happened yesterday, claiming the lives of over 53 persons and leaving over 29 wounded who are currently receiving medical treatment across different medical facilities in the west region of Cameroon. This is your favorite bilingual program, The Brief, which is dedicated to the review of striking newspapers headlines in the country. And today we have a lone headline talking about the Nchang accident that claimed the lives of 53 Cameroonians and leaving over 29 wounded. Audrey Zazak is already around. Bonjour, Audrey. Monsieur Christian Jock equally is with us in the studio this morning to talk about the Chang incident. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Lasha. Thank you to invite me again.
And joining us from the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, is the Secretary of Communication to the Popular Action Party, Elvis Mbane. Good morning, Elvis, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha. Good morning, Audrey, and to my co-panelists with you down there, Mr. Njok in the studio. Good morning to all Cameroonians and viewers of my Prime Media.
Okay, Audrey, let's find out what the French newspapers have its readers or their readers this morning.
Ok, Lasha Kingsley, Madame, Messieurs, bonjour. Merci de nous retrouver une fois de plus pour les analyses des grandes unes sur My Media Prime Television. Et un seul sujet meuble la presse écrite choisie par notre rédaction francophone ce matin. Il s'agit bien sûr, comme Lasha l'a si bien dit, de l'incident survenu hier à la falaise de Chang et le messager depuis Ndjawe par lequel nous débutons qualifie la falaise de Sonchou de falaise de la mort. Il revient par ce qualificatif par des différents incidents survenus au même endroit et qui ont englouti des vies humaines. C'était très tôt hier. Le jour de ce jour parle aussi de ce drame. Le journal Bleu propose un dossier exclusif sur la scène de cet incident et évoque un lourd bilan de 53 morts. Mutation insiste également sur le bilan de l'accident. On apprend ici que la communauté nationale et internationale est bouleversée et indignée. Pour conclure, la réalité plus s'interroge à sa une sur le rôle du ministre des Transports, Jean-Ernest Ngalé Bibei, et pense qu'il doit déployer ses équipes permanentes de contrôle de la circulation sur le triangle de la mort, Yaoundé-Douala, Kongsamba, Bafang, Chang, Bafoussam, Yaoundé. Le journal fait état de ce que plus de 150 morts ont été enregistrés en un seul mois sur les routes camerounaises. Pour Réalité Plus, s'il est impossible d'interdire les voyages de nuit devenus une tradition, il est urgent de l'organiser. La suite, c'est à la page 2, c'est dans les pages 2 et 4 de ce journal. Voilà, madame, messieurs, pour les tabloïds en langue française. Place aux tabloïds en langue anglaise avec toi, Lasha Kingsley.
Thank you, Audrey. Let's start with the post-weekender. The post-weekender this morning, of course, took interest in the Nchang road accident that claimed the lives of over 53 persons and 29 injured. The paper also revisited the scene in Limbe where two bomb explosions rocked the city of Limbe recently, sending shock waves and the entire city in panic after the two bombs explosion which happened in Limbe in the southwest region of Cameroon. And the National Bilingual Daily Cameroon Tribune described the Chang Sancho road accident as a horror. According to the paper, the governor of the west region of Cameroon, Awafonka Augustine, was on the scene, went to the scene to assess the level of damage. According to the paper, he extended the condolences of President Paul Biya to the bereaved family and assured the population that a good management of the situation will be carried out to ensure that those who are affected and as well as those who are still on treatment in hospital will be taken care of by the government of Cameroon. You can get details of our Fonka Augustine's visit on pages 3, 16, and 17 of this edition of the National Bilingual Daily Cameroon Tribune. And let's take you to Emergence. Emergence is black this morning. It's a front page dedicated to the Nchang route accident. According to the paper, 53 persons died and 29 others were injured in the accident, according to Emergence newspaper. And the Guardian Post newspaper also described the Nchang road accident as a horror. Horror in Chang, writes the paper. 53 roasted in accident involving truck transporting illicit fuel in the region. And the paper went further to say that law enforcement officers allegedly escorting vehicle that was carrying the illicit fuel are nowhere to be found. They are on the run after the incident which happened yesterday at the Nchang Sancho route, or Nchang Sancho highway in the west region of Cameroon, precisely at the Nchang hill, where 53 persons died. And this other headline talking about Bamenda 2 Council mayor unveils vast transformation projects for 2021 in that part of the country. Let's come back to the studio to continue with the discussion. Before we begin with Christian Jog, let us first of all go to Yaoundé and meet Evis Mbane. Evis, my very first question to you. Preliminary investigations have revealed that 2 officers, one gendarmerie and the other custom officer, were those who were accompanying or escorting the truck that was carrying illicit fuel. What do you make of this investigation? Unfortunately, we lost him. Let's come back to the studio. Christian Jog, it has been revealed that 2 officers were the ones escorting this truck that was transporting la douane et la gendarmerie nationale. What do you make of this?
Vous voulez déjà à votre suite, n'est-ce pas, que je puisse m'incliner face à cette horreur, voyez-vous, à cette tristesse. Et on se questionne naturellement vivement quand vienne le jour où on tirera les leçons définitives de ces hécatombes. Je vous assure, c'est triste de pouvoir parler d'une telle question. Et cela témoigne effectivement, même si on va en tirer les leçons du jeu des acteurs dans la question, cela témoigne effectivement de la précarité dans laquelle nous vivons, de la malgouvernance qui atteint un niveau indicible, innommable, voyez-vous, indescriptible même, j'allais dire. Comment peut-on s'amuser avec une telle chose, sachant que c'est interdit au Cameroun, n'est-ce pas, comment dire, ce carburant sur la quai, comment c'est la douane du Cameroun qui est censée, en principe, intercepter ce genre de problème, ce genre de trafic illicite, qui est elle-même au carrefour, sinon qui est l'acteur principal de cette chose. Même si on ne va pas, bien évidemment, interroger d'autres éléments exogènes, notamment la qualité de la route, la qualité du véhicule, et même le bus en lui-même. Voyez-vous, vous savez que les bus portent 70 places.
The question many are asking, le carburant était destiné à qui? Ça appartenait à qui?
Parce que justement, le
que
camion venait de Chang pour aller,
le
camion venait de Chang pour aller, je sais pas, pour aller, ça descendait et le bus, lui,
venait de
montait
Douala.
plutôt. Donc, on a envie de se poser la question, mais d'où sort ce carburant-là et c'était destiné à qui?
C'est ce que j'étais en train de dire précédemment. Déjà que, primo, la loi interdit ce genre de trafic au Cameroun. Donc, deuxièmement, d'où sort-il que le carburant? Est-ce que, comment c'est, la SNH ou alors la SDP?
Est-ce qu'on portait le carburant dans...
Justement, j'en viens. J'interroge d'abord avant d'en arriver là-bas. Est-ce que la SDP a un dépôt pétrolier quelque part? Attends, il me semble que non. Voyez-vous? Et dans quel type de véhicule transporte-t-on le carburant? On transporte ça dans des bonbonnes? C'est impossible quand même. On sait bien que le carburant se transporte dans un environnement sécurisé, c'est-à-dire les citernes. Qui ne sont pas quand même a priori visibles au public. Mais là, je vous dis, c'est dramatique, effectivement. C'est-à-dire c'est une affaire où et le ministre et tous les responsables de la douane doivent démissionner en principe. Parce qu'on ne comprend pas comment on puisse en arriver.
Yeah, it should be recorded that a meeting has been called up by the commander the custom in the west region of Cameroon
Comment dire, c'est la
to establish responsibility so
ça ne changera rien, voyez-vous. C'est un système huilé, c'est-à-dire que c'est quelque chose qui se passe. Il faut déjà frapper du lait, c'est-à-dire que ceux qui le font. Comment le carburant part de là? Et d'après nos informations, le carburant sortirait certainement du Nigeria quelque part. Passant par
Mr. Njok, Audrey, before I come to that, many people are wondering that with the conflicts that we have in Cameroon, this is just petrol. We are seeing this with the petrol or fuel that was transported yesterday. When it comes to arms now, if they can go as far as doing this with petroleum products, it means that with the arms, that the illicit arms that sometimes gets into Cameroon, these custom officers, those trafficking these arms, they buy their way through the custom officers. And before you know it, terrorism is on the rise in Cameroon.
Effectivement, voyez-vous, c'est l'une des questions que nous avons précédemment soulevées. Pour vous dire, cela nous fait davantage peur. On comprend pourquoi l'économie, quand l'autre jour nous développons la question de l'économie de la guerre, qui se déroule naturellement dans la crise anglophone, on comprend effectivement le canal par lequel ça passe, c'est au niveau de la douane que ça passe, c'est un fait. Les armes font comment pour entrer dans le territoire camerounais? C'est effectivement à cause de la porosité de nos frontières. Et qui sont aux frontières? C'est la douane.
Okay. All right. Let us go to Yaoundé. I will come back to you. Elvis, welcome back. My very first question to you. How do you explain the fact that illicit fuel were being transported and we have two officers that were escorting the vehicle transporting this product, this hydrocarbons product?
Well, Lasha, let me begin again by extending sincere condolences from the entire PAP family to those bereaved families, and to say that the question as to where the fuel comes from and or why not, to me, it is something glaring. What happens at Sancho there just explains or exposes furthermore the happenings in this country under the system. Like you rightly put it, the vehicle transporting the fuel was accompanied by uniformed officers. Now, it tells you therefore that obviously there is somebody, or there are at least some people somewhere who have taken upon themselves to how do I say it, to divert what is supposed to be something that is meant for national consumption. When I say national consumption, I mean here is they sell so that we Cameroonians will benefit from it, but some individuals decide to divert it so that they sell and the money becomes a private something, you see. And I think this accident, unfortunately, it has claimed several lives, but it has only come to expose to Cameroonians some of the things that we have been decrying, and that when we talk, they say we hit so high. If not, minus the fact that it was accompanied, what about those checkpoints? And if it was accompanied by two soldiers, then you understand the soldiers must have been there to tell their friends that they meet along the way that close your eyes on whatsoever thing you see here, because maybe it becomes to this or that person. And of course, when you understand that it was accompanied, then surely the persons behind the whole thing are people that are perhaps on.
Or probably they were highly paid. They were highly paid to escort the illicit fuel, so it gets to its destination without being interrupted on the way.
All of these are possibilities, Lasha, and all we can hope for now is that the government will actually carry out proper investigations, find out exactly the source of it, the persons behind it all, and maybe, I say maybe, be able to bring all those responsible and to put them to book. Now, we have heard about maybe the commander of the West region calling on summoning a meeting with the custom officers. All of these are measures that will not yield to anything, because this is just one out of many other cases that go on the same roads on a daily basis, and they are all informed of these things. Even those seated right in the offices, they are informed, because we know that in Cameroon at times it is they in the offices who send those guys onto the roads to control, get money, and bring back to them in the offices. So it is not like they are not informed about these things. Mr. Njo was just mentioning the issue of maybe arms or the porosity. It is not really a fact of saying that it is porous. These uniform officers we have, they are all informed about all these illicit transactions in Cameroon. But like I always have the habit of saying, we have people in the country where people are maybe appointed or put in offices not to serve the interests of the people, not to serve the interests of the state, but to serve their private interests and that of maybe those who place them where they are.
So where do we go
can
from?
always believe
Where
that
do we
something
go
like
from
this.
here, Evis? Where do we go from here? Every day we keep talking about deaths recorded here and there. Where do we go from here?
Mr. Lasha, it is a difficult question to answer. The only thing I can say is let Cameroonians for once learn to work with a conscience of theirs. You know, when I saw the Messager caption, La Falaise de la Mort, I don't know, to me, as a literature, it speaks volumes to me.
But
You
it's,
see, that caption, La
that could be
Falaise de la Mort,
that
you
could be
understand?
misleading.
It's not
That
the first time it's happening.
that could be misleading. That could be misleading because that stretch of route, we rarely have accidents along that stretch of route. That could be misleading. I don't know contextually.
The last
Mr.
one we
Lasha.
had was in 2019.
Mr.
Ça fait quand même beaucoup de
But
temps.
three persons lost their
Yeah,
lives,
just
not
three,
as
yeah.
compared to
As compared
Yaoundé,
to
Douala, and Douala Bafoussa.
Mr. Ambane is according to research conducted by the National Gendarmerie. About 50 something percent of accidents occur only at night. What do you think about it? Do you think night traveling could be the cause of all of this?
I don't really think that the night journeys are a problem. The very first point are the state of roads that we have. And I want to come back to that caption. You say it could be misleading. I say no. When they say La Falaise de la Mort, go back to that area of that falaise itself. It's Alasha. When you construct roads and you get to certain dangerous areas or bends or whatsoever thing, there are measures that are taken to prevent such things. An accident is something that happens when maybe we didn't expect, but there is a possibility of taking measures to prevent such accidents. Go and look at the state of our roads today. You see, so it is not really a matter of night journeys. It is a matter first of the state of the roads that we have, and then secondly, the people who are placed on those same roads to check maybe the speeding vehicles, to check maybe the content of what the vehicles transport, who go onto those roads, but they do not do what they are expected to do, but they do what they want to do to safeguard their own interests. I think that is the very first thing we need to get back to. And that's why I say, I will pray that Cameroonians for once should learn to work with their consciences. Because if those are the checkpoints, irrespective of the fact that the vehicle was accompanied by soldiers, if someone somewhere did the right thing, to say this fuel is not supposed to be transported, and worst of all, in this manner of a car,
if responsibilities have to be established, I think the fuel was coming from Nigeria. If it is Wazwa, as we all read from other sources, it means that the custom officers, those who are in the southwest region as well as the northwest region, could be also indicted for allowing the product to get into the country.
Yes. You know, like I earlier mentioned, Lasha, it's a whole chain. It's a whole chain. To me, the point is not whether it started from the southwest, northwest, or what. What I'm saying is that we have officials, we have agents that are placed on roads, no matter what part of the country where they find themselves, who do not do exactly what we expect that they should do to the best interest of the state. And that's why I am coming back to the issue of a conscience. People should learn to be patriotic for once and do that for which, when they will no longer be there, at least we can remember that this person once was somewhere and he did a good job for which we can remember him. Like I say, we have lost 53 souls, and unfortunately we still have 29 in critical conditions. Some may follow, one never knows. And even if the 29 do survive, now you can imagine the burns they have incurred.
Yeah, first and second degree burns.
Monsieur Njok, on revient.
Good. So,
yeah, we'll come back to you, Evis. Let's get some one more question from Mr. Njok.
Opération zéro mort en 2021 du ministre des Transports. Est-ce qu'on peut dire qu'il a échoué ou alors qu'il est en train d'échouer?
Vous permettez effectivement que je puisse corroborer ce que disait Elvis tout à l'heure. Au-delà naturellement de la logique de porosité, il faut avouer que les complicités sont connues. Parce qu'on ne peut pas partir du Nigeria pour en arriver au Cameroun sans que, n'est-ce pas, et que ce soit encore accompagné. C'est davantage dommage que là-bas l'État est déjà récriminé. Au-delà de ça aussi, il faut appuyer effectivement sur la logique, la conscience, comme l'a dit, la conscience patriotique. Si vous prenez par exemple un bus qui est censé avoir 70 personnes, 70 places, un bus se retrouve parce qu'on
et nous sommes en pleine période de Covid-19, il faut imaginer.
On se retrouve à 82 places, c'est-à-dire 53 morts, plus 29 blessés qui sont à présent internés à l'hôpital. Ça, quand même, il faut convoquer la notion de civisme des populations. C'est extrêmement grave. Et comme Lacha le disait, on ne peut pas être dans cette période de Covid-19 où on a demandé au moins d'aménuiser quand même les voyages. Dans cette bus 70 places, on devrait quand même avoir 50 personnes, ou bien, mais qu'on soit à 82 personnes, voilà déjà une erreur, une cause humaine. C'est-à-dire, c'était déjà, c'est comme si on envoyait des gens au tombeau, effectivement, comme on a dit, la falaise de la tombe. Mais pour aller au-delà, pour poser effectivement votre question, non. Les slogans creux de ce gouvernement ne nous serviront à rien. Voyez-vous, ils iront d'échec en échec, ça ne sert à rien. Si vous n'avez pas de routes aménagées, si vous ne parvenez pas à avoir des voitures affrétées pour ça, si vous n'avez pas un cadrage routier qui lui-même ramènerait la conscience des populations, ça ne servirait à rien de se lever un matin, venir vous dire opération zéro mort sur une route. Encore que l'individu dont vous citez, ou le ministre que vous citez lui-même, allez voir comment ces bus que vous connaissez bien, la socature, nous bloque les routes en deux côtés, on ne peut pas marcher par-ci, par-là. C'est-à-dire qu'il soit d'abord un exemple lui-même avant de comprendre. Si quelqu'un vient vous dire, il n'y aura pas ceci, et que lui-même, c'est-à-dire ses propres choses qu'il a, ne sont pas des exemples, vous croyez effectivement que demain, ça peut être le contraire? Non?
Oui, M. Njok, terminons avec la réalité newspaper. The reality this morning is indicting the transport minister for having staying in his office under air condition without going to the road. Do you think, Elvis, do you think the problem is the minister going to the road to ensure that things are okay?
I have often condemned institutions where accidents occur on a daily basis, and then we hear that there is an interministerial commission going onto the road to take note of what happened. No, it doesn't change anything. The problem is really not the minister going to the roads to take note of or to bear witness as to the fact that there was an accident, but that the minister should give instructions or issue out contracts for the construction of roads and see into either such roads are constructed. We are still saying that we don't even have the roads in the first place. The problem
but monies are collected.
What does he go to do?
Monies are collected every day on what they call toll gates money. Where are those monies going to?
That's why I'm saying that the problem is not the minister going onto the road, but there's a possibility of following up all those who are out there on the field to know how much they collect per day and know exactly where this money finally goes to.
So la réalité could be right. La réalité could be right, asking the minister to go to the route and ensure that yes, everything is put in place. It could be la réalité newspaper could be right.
Mr. Lasha, ministers in this country, the minister has always been going onto the road, but it doesn't change anything. And we now know that whenever he goes out into the road or onto the road, it is just like another commission that rather spends much more money again. You see, it is a chain from the minister right down maybe to the contractors or those who actually collect money at the toll gates, as you say. And it is supposed to follow that chain back from those at the toll gates back up to maybe the level of the minister. If you give instructions, if you issue a contract and it is not executed or you don't get the feedback, you should question the person immediately beneath you, and it continues that way till the information gets back to you. So it is not necessary for the minister to always go onto the road, because he has been doing it in our Cameroonian context, and it doesn't change anything. In a serious country, yes, we can ask the minister to go out to the road to find out what is happening. But in our Cameroonian context, we know that when he goes out, it is just another mission that spends more money and doesn't yield any fruits at the end of the day. They keep creating commissions to bear witness as to the fact that Cameroonians are dying on a daily basis, but we don't see the roads. Nobody ever tells us exactly where the toll gate money goes to. So going to the road to me is not really much of a problem.
Okay, Elvis, your last words. Responsibilities will be established, and some persons must or have to be punished. If you were to propose punishment for those who be held responsible for this incident, what will you be proposing?
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, I think like this, people have to be punished. It is not really in my capacity to propose one.
But you are the leader of you're equally a leader of a political party. You are a politician. What will you be suggesting?
Yes. what I'm saying here is simply that we have jurisdictions that are competent enough to decipher or to determine the manner of punishment equitable or equivalent to the crime that has been that we have at hand. So I think people should simply just carry out investigations appropriately as they are supposed to be done, and make sure that those who are found faulty, they pay the price with respect to the ambits of the law.
Thank you very much, Elvis, for coming on the program today. Hope to see you tomorrow or some other day. Sanjok, thank you also for coming. Audrey?
Voilà, merci, madame, messieurs, pour avoir été des nôtres. Eh bien, restez scotchés pour plus sur My Media Prime.
Thank you for watching, televiewers. We've come to the end of the program today, produced by Tini Ayon. And for presentation, we've been Audrey Zagzag and myself, Lasha Kingsley. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.